What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Savage Land. Welcome to another episode of The Field. And today on The Field, I just wanted to talk about the good place that we're in with the G.I. Joe brand. And when I say G.I. Joe brand, I'm not necessarily saying Hasbro, which I am saying Hasbro, but they own it. But what I'm talking about is the different 6-inch toy lines that are doing things with the G.I. Joe toy for the 6-inch level and also 4-inch level too with higher. We'll dibble dabble in that a little bit. But right now we got options, people. We got a lot of options, and it's a cool thing. And while we doing this too, I'm gonna open up this Dusty that I haven't had a chance to open up. And as you can see back here, I have my award-winning Army, the blues, the orange and blues, my ninjas and swamp guys, and right here I got my G.I. Joe shelf. So I'm definitely gonna have to get me another shelf eventually for my G.I. Joe classified. But let's break it down. So the three companies that I'm talking about is, of course, Hasbro. They're doing their own G.I. Joe classified. They were doing 3 3/4 inch, but that looks like that's done. They were doing 4-inch, and they didn't do well with that. They threw that away. Super 7, which is doing cartoon G.I. Joes, cartoon accuracy, if you're into that, but that's a 7-inch line. But we talk in 6-inch world, 7-inch is just a cousin of ours. And then we also want to talk about what Mezco is doing, and the reason why I'm throwing Mezco in there is now we finally have product in hand, and customers are giving rave reviews over the Destro. So right now, let's start with G.I. Joe Classified. That's I guess your bottom feeder, which is a great line. One of the best out of the three, really, if not the best. It is the best out of the three. Out of three, I'm not even gonna lie. To me, in my eyes, G.I. Joe Classified. Price going up a little bit, but it's the lower end of the totem pole if you're looking for something to come into collecting. If you're a new collector or want to collect G.I. Joe and you're looking for something under $30. All right, look, when I started seriously collecting action figures hard back in 2016 or 17, I gawked at the $20 price because I was used to, back in 05, 06, they were like $7, $8. And I told myself for a long time, because I would have jumped in the game in 2015, but I told myself I'm not paying that shit. But then I broke down and paid it. So new collectors coming in, that's what it is. It's gonna be between 25 and 30. I gawked at $15, $20. So G.I. Joe Classified fits the bill on that. But if you do that, you are getting a great toy for that price, especially for the other lines that are going on that either serving up garbage for $25, or Jada Toys is the only toy company I see that's better than Classified in that range. But with G.I. Joe Classified, it's a new spin. It serves for both. It serves for people who want to see a new spin and retro, because it's doing the retro. It's also doing the retro colorways now. Now, as far as the next toy line, Super 7, they're going for more cartoon comic accuracy, and they're doing a great job. And with Super 7, that's for a real special group of guys within G.I. Joe who really want that cartoon accuracy and don't mind paying a little bit more, because they're not gonna collect a massive amount. There's some out there that's gonna get them all, then there's some that's gonna get the characters that resonate with them, especially at a $50 price. I mean, you're looking at half and half of guys who are going to collect that whole line. Well, most people said, I've heard on the internet, most people say that they do want to collect the whole line. But if for a guy like me who's heavy into Classified, and that's where I'm going with it, I maybe just be looking at one or two, which I'll probably get a Cobra Trooper or maybe something from that line. It'll be one. I think maybe that Snake Eyes. Maybe I'll get that. But I decided already in my head I don't want to deal with that. Okay, let's jump to the flip side, the new player in the game, which is Mezco. Mezco, I can't wait to get my Destro because it looks good to me. And if I'm really, really feeling that, I'm actually thinking about copping those, not going all in, because I might not get that Storm Shadow, but I had the roadblock, I cut that off, so that's not happening. But as far as collecting multiples, I might go with Mezco. Mezco is more expensive than Super 7, which we're talking about the $50, $55 range. Mezco, of course, is $90, $100, but they're not coming out with a bevy of figures like Super 7 is, or definitely not Classified. Classified has an onslaught because of the high price range. And then there's so few far in between when they release, you can actually do a double up on those if you want one to rock and one to stock, and it not hurt you because it takes so long for them to be developed. But I don't know what it is about Mezco. And like I said, if I'm really feeling this Destro, I think I want to jump on that as my secondary G.I. Joe line rather than Super 7, because which I love the cartoon. That's how I was brought into G.I. Joe. I've never read one G.I. Joe comic, even though I own several. I was trying to collect that old Marvels line, but I haven't got them all. But I've never read a G.I. Joe comic book. I didn't come into it. I came in through the cartoon. So, like I said, we have options for anybody who want to go anyway, whether you really into some real caviar figures with clothing, or you want the comic book, or you want a new age spin that's a little bit cheaper, and they all at different prices, 25, 50, 100. And I know classified can get up to 50, but we talking about your standard classified figure, man. So we're in a good spot with G.I. Joe. We definitely are. And also, Hasbro is dropping the ball right now, not producing no 4-inch G.I. Joe figures. Now, I don't know what the hell happened to Haya. I heard somebody say something about them a couple of months ago, but I didn't know they were overseas exclusive. I thought they would be coming here, because as soon as that 4-inch line, that retro line ended, I was ready to jump in with Haya. But looking at their figures, I guess they're copying the video game. I really don't care too much for them, but Hasbro is really dropping the ball to get some 4-inch G.I. Joe figures out there. But even if they do that, they probably be 25, because like, I don't really collect Black Series no more, but the Star Wars Vintage collection is really, really great. You get the same type of figure, but just smaller. And at one time, those figures were $11, $12. Now they're getting up there. Man, they're 25, 30. I know that speeder bike is 50. I paid 50 for a Scout Trooper and speeder bike 2.5, maybe 3 years ago on a 6-inch level. Now you talking about a 4-inch level, it's $50. Crazy, man, crazy. So I don't know, Hasbro probably dropped the ball on that, but they don't have to pay to anybody else. G.I. Joe belongs to them, but they need to get something out for people who want to collect the smaller scale. I don't know about Haya if I want to do anything with them. So, but yeah, options upon options upon options that we have. And this Dusty looks pretty cool. I'm gonna mess around with him. I've heard a few things about his helmet. I usually don't display with backpacks. Let me see how he move right quick. Oh yeah, he moving like butter. I like that. Kneecaps got a little bit of discolorage with it. I don't know if that's supposed to be like that. You know how the kneecaps have different colors in there, but he moves good. He moves good. I'm liking him already. I like an action figure that can move good, and his legs is moving like butter. And I guess in that stance, I think I'd rather have a loose figure than a stiff one, because that's some bullshit when you can't move your figure, man. That just really pisses me off. But yeah, man, that's all I have, man. We in a good place with G.I. Joe. If you're collecting, keep collecting and be happy, man. I think right now with G.I. Joe, if you're not feeling one, you can jump to the other and still be satisfied with your brand. Like I said, the only thing I would think we're missing is a smaller scale. And like I say, even to the bigger toys, even on the bigger scale, the 1/6 scale, they got some good toys. I forgot the name of the company that's producing, but I was tempted to get a 3-0. I was tempted to get a Storm Shadow from 3-0 on Snake Eyes, and I still might. So like I said, there's options upon options upon options. But I'm gonna leave y'all with that. This is the Savage Land. If you can, give me a like, comment, subscribe, and until the next time, God bless.